My nose ring is coming out, my bad. I'm gonna do some crafting today. I'm making some more journals and notebooks. So I'm gonna make a notebook first, and then I'm going to put together my journal. And I thought I'd show you guys how I make my own like craft style notebook. I guess that's what they're called. You know, the notebooks that have like a very thin, just like super thick paper cover, and then like nice pieces of paper inside. Although the paper inside is usually like super thin, just that you literally just need paper, like an embroidery needle and some embroidery thread. It's so simple. You literally can finish it up in like 10 minutes. Okay, so for this paper, it's by Astro Designs, and this is going to be the cover bit. It's cardstock paper, so it's 65 pound. That's what you want to look for if you want just like super simple, just like a paper notebook. So I got this one because it came in a lot of different colors. I think it was only like $8 for this huge pack of like super thick paper, which was so perfect for exactly what I was making. And it comes with so much that you literally will never run out of paper to make your journal covers, because you only need one sheet of paper per journal compared to like the inside pages where you need quite a bit. Highly recommend this Astro Brights paper. They have different colors as well. If you go to Office Depot or Office Max, whatever your city has, you don't need to go and spend like $500 on some cardstock paper. Now for the inside, I'm showing the colors here. As you can see, they have like so many different colors. And I got the pastel ones, which I really like. Now for the inside paper, all that cream white paper you see inside of the notebook I had already made, I'm using the Southworth resume paper. Now when I went to Office Depot, I think that's the one in my city, they had it for like $30. I'm like, I'm not paying $30 for this paper. Like, that's freaking ridiculous. Instead, I went to Target. They only had it for $12, and it wasn't even on sale. So what you want to look for is Southworth resume paper. And if you want that creamy color, get the color ivory. But what is most important is that you want 32-pound paper if you want something thick to write on. And then now this I got from a local a local art supply store. That's like the owl to punch holes. And then your embroidery needle, and then your embroidery thread is what you need. The embroidery thread I got from the same local art supply. I got the owl to punch holes into the paper. So like, this is a cheap project. You do not have to spend like buku money on everything. If you have some crochet yarn laying around, I'm pretty sure you can probably use crochet yarn instead of going out and buying some embroidery thread. Now for this bit, from that resume paper, I counted out how many sheets I wanted my notebook to be, and then holding the paper vertical where the longest side is going top to bottom, I just cut it in half. I cut it in half so then I can make two, I think this is an A5 size notebook. I'm not sure. Now, the only bad thing about the Astro Brights paper is that it's quite short at the width. So you do have to work with the paper horizontally. So you are wasting a little bit of paper, but please recycle, reduce your waste. And so I do it like this, horizontally, and then I just cut it to the size of my notebook. And then trim up the little excess pieces so that there's not too much overhang on the cover. I like seeing the paper inside. I think it's like a wabi-sabi-esque, so it doesn't bother me. Now that you have like cut your cardstock and the inside pages, mine ended up being 14 centimeters in height. So I just split that in half where I was going to put my middle hole punch, and then on either side I added 5 centimeters. So my top hole was at 12 centimeters and my bottom was at 2 centimeters. And that's just how I spaced out the holes. You can literally do whatever you want. You just need 3 holes on your piece of paper so you can weave your thread through. also, as a safety note, be careful. My hands were kind of close to the end. If you're like, this is your first time working with sharp tools or doing this craft, be careful. Don't like go stabbing yourself by accident because you made your journal too thick. This was probably the thickest journal I have made. So it was kind of hard to get the out all the way through all the pages. So that's why you want to ensure that you're being quite careful with this sharp object. So for the embroidery part, I start in the middle on the inside and I pull through. Now it's important that on the side with the needle, you leave a tail so that you can tie a knot. And at the end, you saw how I left just a little bit of thread as well, so I can use that for tying a knot. Now you can start on the left or right side. I'm right-handed, so I just started on the right side. When you start from the middle inside cover, push the needle through, you'll be on the outside. Put it through the hole from the outside right hand side, and then you just keep weaving it back and forth. So now my thread's on the outside middle hole. I'm going to go to the left side because I haven't done it, and then you just weave it back and forth. Honestly, stop here if you don't want to like double your thread or you don't have enough. I personally, just to make it more secure in my head, I do it at least 2 to 3 times. So I'm just following the same pattern wherever I left off at. Then I'm going to go back to the middle, and then I'm back at the back, so I go to the opposite side, and then finally back through the middle. Now that I've done it a couple of times, I'm going my final pass through the middle, and then from the back I tuck the string underneath one of the threads, either on the left or right side. Again, it literally does not matter. If you're left-handed, do it on the left. If you're right-handed like me, it's a little easier to do on the right. You just want to pull the thread on the needle underneath either side and then pull it back through the middle so that you can tie your knot. If you want the knot to not be on the inside so you don't see it when you're flipping through your notebook, just do everything in like the opposite order that I did. So instead of starting in the middle, start at the back so that you end up at the back cover. Now I'm doing the trick I learned on a YouTube video on here. Her tutorial is probably way better than mine. But I'm going to, again, just like how I did with the back cover, I'm going to go take my tail ends and put them underneath where that embroidery thread spine is going to be, just to make things more secure. And finally, you're just going to tie like 2 or 3 knots. I usually do about 2. You can do 5 if you have long enough thread, or you can just do 1. Honestly, just doing 1 will be secure enough. But then after you tie your knot, you're literally done. You can do this in like under 10 minutes. The first time I did it, I think it took me like 10 minutes. It's so quick. It's so easy. It's just cutting paper and tying it together. I love this project. And I also like to break the spine a little bit. And then when I'm done with my notebooks, I put them under my dumbbells that I have, just so that I can lay them a little bit more flat and they're not just like flopping over in my journal cover right where I have the spine. But yeah, these are the collection of notebooks I made for my language learning journal, and I used this cute pink embroidery thread. But yeah, like I said, it is so simple, and if you want to like make your own notebook so you can get back into writing or journaling or just want like a fun project to do, highly recommend doing this. I use these notebooks all the time because I made them myself. And they're exactly like the paper thickness I want, the size I want, the color I want. So it's a wonderful craft to do.